All right, let's get something straight right out of the gate. Nobody had New England or Seattle penciled in for the Super Bowl. Nobody. One franchise everyone declared dead 5 years ago, and the other still trying to prove that they're just as competitive. And yet, here we are. The Super Bowl isn't about legacy quarterbacks. It's not about fancy, flashy offenses. It's about who rebuilt it the right way, who trusted their culture, and who stopped chasing headlines and started building adults in this room. Patriots, Seahawks, two blue-collar teams, two very different paths. Let's talk about how the NFL got here, because the mismatchup tells everything about where the league is going. And welcome back to the Cincy Sports Scene podcast. I'm Dave alongside Sam, and today we're breaking down Super Bowl 60, New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. We're talking why these teams are here, what it says about coaching, roster construction, and quarterback development, and who actually has the edge when it matters the most. This is not hot take radio. This is why it works and why it doesn't. Buckle up. All right. Super Bowl week is here on Sunday night, and should be a good one. Should be a throwback, I think, to Super Bowls of yore, where your defense really plays an important part. It's not just this offensive style of game. You know, let's talk a little bit about this episode tonight. We are going to be breaking down the Super Bowl, and the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to be giving our confidence picks per position group, and we will go over each group, talk a little bit about the positives, the minuses, and then just give who we feel is better, who we actually have more confidence in. And then at the end, we will go ahead and give our picks for the big game. Let's do a quick overview, son. The Patriots and the Seahawks both finished the regular season at 14-3. Both won their division. The Patriots, people obviously are saying they arrived probably a year, maybe 2 years earlier than what was expected. The Seahawks last year struggled. I mean, as far as quarterback play, got Sam Darnold to solidify it, but their defense is top notch. 17.2 points a game is what they allow. That's number one in the league. New England is somewhere around the 18.5, which is number 4 in the league. Their offenses are very similar, 28.8 points per game for New England and 28.4 points per game for the Seattle Seahawks. You know, two teams built a little differently as far as New England was doing it through the draft with their quarterback, and Seattle had to go get one. Similar results. That's where the breakdown begins. What are some overviews that you might have?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be quarterback play for me. So Drake May, I mean, the last 2 playoff games, he's been okay. He's been fine. I mean, he's only a second-year quarterback, first playoff experience. You know, it's not always necessarily going to be greatness, but he's going to have to actually make plays in this game for them to win. He's not going up against a backup quarterback. There's not going to be, you know, a second half snowstorm that stifles another team's offense. He's playing the best team in football probably in the Seahawks. So, I mean, he can't have one of those 190 yards, just kind of game manager games. I think he's going to have to win the game. And same is said for Sam Darnold as well. I know both teams have really great defenses and good run games, but it's going to come down to which quarterback makes more plays, I think. And that's most games, honestly. But I think it's especially true in this one. You know, can Sam Darnold make sure he's the Sam Darnold regular season for the past 2 years and not necessarily, you know, does that the old Sam Darnold creep up a little bit? You know, you hope not if you're a Seahawks fan. You know, just going off of his time in Seattle, you haven't really seen him have a game like that. And the one game he did against the Rams, the first time I think they played, maybe it was the second time, but one of the regular seasons where he threw 4 picks and they still almost won the game. I mean, it's with their defense, they can, you know, survive a Darnold mishap or two, but he can't just have a god awful game.
Well, you know, that's funny because I don't think it's going to. Obviously, this is a quarterback league, and I understand your point, but I don't think the quarterbacks are going to win the game for their team. right? Let's take a look at Drake May. Led the league in completion percentages for a second-year player. It's outstanding with about 72%. Yards per attempt, 31 touchdowns versus 8 interceptions. Great. But when you look at him against elite defenses, when I mean elite, in the top, I think they played 6 times against elite defenses in the top 15 or top 12, and those numbers were way down. So, the one thing I will say is that his legs will add a value, a dimension that, you got to account for, unlike Darnold, where his running ability is not going to be there. This is a renaissance for, right? Darnold. I mean, he's resurrecting his career. I'm a little skeptical of Sam Darnold because of the whole 5 interception. He will turn the ball over. Drake May holds the ball a little too long, right? That's just second year. I did hear a very interesting take from Steve Young as what value does he place on being a backup in a Super Bowl game have for Sam Darnold, since he is now the starter, because he backed up Brock Purdy. And Steve Young said, he's seen it. He's been there. He's been in that environment. He understands this is the tickets. This is the media requests. This is the fans. This is the itinerary that you have to go through, the scheduling, and just all of the nuances that are a pain in the butt to navigate, because you get your friends calling you up. You've got your family wanting tickets and all this stuff. They want to spend time with you there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Steve Young said he backed up Montana twice, and it was just valuable because not only are you prepared to play the game, because that's your job as a backup, you're prepared to handle all this other stuff now when you become a starter. And, I didn't even think of that until I heard him say that. And I'm like, okay, so I think I'm leaning, towards Sam Darnold as my confidence pick just because of him being there. Yes. And Drake May, we could say he's great. He's got poise for a second-year player, but he's never been there. He's never been in a big game atmosphere like that. College, I think the Duke Mayo Bowl was his biggest, so it wasn't like Burrow who wasn't there, either until his third year, I think it was. But he played in the Natty, right? So there was a little, he had that type of, he knew there's going to be a lot more chaos around. So with that being said, who's your confidence pick in the quarterback? Who do you trust?
I'm going to say Sam Darnold because, you mentioned that Steve Young thing, and I didn't hear that. Hearing you say that, that makes a lot of sense. Like he's been able to take it all in as the backup, and he'll be able to carry that experience over as a starter, I would think. Vrabel's going to get Drake May ready as well. He knows what to say to help him, but I don't think you can prepare yourself until you experience something like that. You said it. Drake May has played in no games like this. Like he never played in an ACC championship. He played mid-tier bowl game, which who gives a crap about. So, you can call the Denver game a big game, but you're going up against the backup quarterback. You only put up 10 points or whatever it was. You should have lost. So, the one big game that he has played in didn't look great. And I think Sam Darnold's just got a little bit more experience, and just having the better team is going to help Sam Darnold too.
Yeah. All right. So like I said, I was leaning towards Drake May when I was doing my research, but when I came across that take by Steve Young, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a very good take, because with Steve, he was backing up a legend in Montana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Russell Wilson, it's night and day. So there's not that pressure of, hey, we ship Montana out. You're the guy you better win, right? So he had that pressure along with everything. So I'm leaning towards Sam Darnold with that. All right, our next category will be our running backs and Do you want to lump in the offensive line here with the running backs?
Yeah, okay. Might as well just run game in general.
Yeah, the run game in general. All right. So they're both pretty good. Seattle, is averaging about 123 yards per game, balanced a little bit. Patriots, their Stevenson is starting to take, I think he's taking over the number one spot because I think Henderson, Travion had 2 carries in the.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't a lot. I think his last 2 games in the playoffs games, he has like total of 6 touches, 6 carries. So is he in Vrabel's doghouse? Was he banged up? Maybe we don't know.
He was dealing with stuff throughout the regular season too, where he went through a spell where he wasn't getting a lot of touches. And I mean, I heard some stuff. There was a lot of pass protection issues with him. It wasn't necessarily anything else. So, I mean, you come down into the playoffs and you're just there's no room for error. So you're just going to trust your guys that can do it a little bit more. I think that's really all that it is.
All
and
it came down to
is better at that. He's going to get more. He's just going to be in the game more, so he's going to get more touches.
Okay.
But Kenneth Walker for Seattle has been a beast these playoffs. I mean, Chardonnay went down or is banged up and is just not playing as much. I don't know if he's out for the Super Bowl or what, but it's not really going to be a 1-2 punch, I don't think. I think it's just going to be Kenneth Walker. And, I mean, he's a bowling ball. That dude is he's just going to run you over and just keep on going. And he's surprisingly fast for a powerful runner. He can kind of outrun guys too. So I'd give the nod to Seattle in terms of the overall run game, just because I think Kenneth Walker is better than anybody the Patriots are going to throw out there.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. I think the big key for me is, can either team, I'm talking about the offensive, line, control the line of scrimmage, right? Long enough to impose their game script, whatever that is. If they want to run the ball on early downs or if they want to pass on early downs, can they control the line of scrimmage? Both defensive fronts are nasty. They get after you. Yeah. They get after you. So can to me, like, which 2 teams or which team will be able to control that? And I think Seattle will control it a little better because I think they have the better running game as far as just straight, I'm going to hand the ball off and here you go. Now, Sean Payton, and we'll talk about coaching here in a little, not Sean Payton, I'm sorry, Vrabel, he's going to, I think, use Drake May a little bit, maybe some rollouts and stuff to shift the pocket and then come back to that run a little bit. I think it's going to be a reverse. Seattle's probably going to pound the ball early. Darnold then's going to throw to loosen up the defense. And I think it'll be the opposite way. I think they're going to throw quick, short stuff, the Patriots, so that it'll neutralize Seattle's rush, and then they'll start handing the ball off. But I'm with you on, I think, the Seahawks there. All right, the receiving core, receivers and tight end. JSN, legitimate number 1. Yeah. I mean, the guy is
he might be the best player on the field.
So. He might be, right. The Patriots, I don't think they got Diggs, right?
Diggs is solid.
But he's not.
Ute he's solid too.
But they're not as dominant as.
They're not game changers. They're more possession guys.
Yeah, so I guess it's going to come down to the explosive plays, right? Consistency, or what do you want to call it? Just the control game. Who do you like?
Seattle is going to be way more explosive, I think, than New England. I think New England's going to be long, sustained drives. I think Seattle will have the opportunity to pop a couple. Just with Kenneth Walker, JSN, and with Rashid Shaheed, just his straight line speed, he might get, a punt or a kickoff too. So he's not just receiving core. But as far as receiving core goes, it's Seattle. Like I said, I think they've got the best player on the field. So it'd be hard to go against their receiving core.
It would be. And don't forget, Cooper Kupp has been there before, and he knows how to get a first down.
He can get to the 8 yards if you need 8.
Yeah, and I think at least in the 2 playoff games I watched Seattle, and Darnold, it was almost like a security blanket, right? Especially on third down, he's like, I know where it's at. And the tight end is, I can't remember what his name is. I'm losing it off the top of my head, but
who is their tight end?
He is another. He's another security blanket over the middle for
Yeah.
Darnold. And as a quarterback, you want to have that security blanket where you know that that receiver is going to be where you expect him to be. And Cooper Kupp is that guy. And it looks like we're both 3 for 3 in picking the Seahawks. And that's my confidence pick as well. Now let's look at the other side of the ball, the defensive front seven. Like I said in our opener, the Seahawks defense, they allowed only 17.2 points per game. It's the best overall scoring defense in the NFL. The New England Patriots, let's take a look. I think they were at 18.8, fourth overall in the NFL. So they're both stout defenses. They both get after you. They're going to get after the quarterback. I think it's going to come down to who can stop the run right early on, and which defensive unit, the front four especially, can get more pressure on their quarterback without having to bring extra guys. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll let you chime in on that, but I think
you're 100% right. But in order to do that, you kind of have to have the coverage in the secondary.
Right. And we'll get there after this.
We'll get there, but it kind of foreshadows my confidence pick. Mine's the Patriots on this front, in part because I think their secondary is better. But they're both pretty equal. They both have guys. Leonard Williams for Seattle I'd love to have him on the Bengals, that's for sure. And the Patriots, I don't want to say they're no-name guys, but they're all just good. I don't think anybody's great in their front seven, but they don't have any weaknesses either. And so I think it's going to end up being New England. I think they're going to be able to get a little bit better pass rush, and so that'll, in theory, speed up Sam Darnold and maybe make him a little more prone to mistakes. We'll see if they can actually do it or not. But I think they're more likely to be able to than the other way around.
I'm leaning towards the Patriots as well, just because of they're a little more pass efficiency as far as Drake May getting the ball out, getting into his receivers. Like I said, he led the league in completion percentage. That to me says one of two things, right? Either your offensive line is giving him enough time to find the open man, or they're doing a lot of short, quick passes where the offensive line doesn't have to block a lot. And I think that is what Vrabel is going to do. And when I said with the quarterbacks early on, where he's going to throw first and then run a little bit later, I think he wants to neutralize that pass rush a little bit with these quick hitters. They're going to have to be looking for the screens. They're going to have to be looking for the quick slants, and they're going to have to adjust, Seattle that is, to that. The 1, 2, 3 out type of thing. If Drake May takes a 5-7 step drop and he's holding on the ball, that's where I think Seattle has the edge. But because I think they can get to them a little bit better than Denver's defense will be able to get to Sam Darnold. Just because I think they're going to have to worry about the play action. They don't know especially if Kenneth Walker gets a couple of early runs in, that are 8, 9, 10 yards on a draw play or something like that, delayed handoff type thing. So I'm going Seattle here. I think or actually no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go Seattle. I think my confidence pick is Seattle just because of that right there, the run game, more or less. All right. Let's talk about secondary and big plays, right? Interceptions, takeaways, those type of things. They defended 96 passes this year. The Seahawks, like I said, they added to the fewer points in the league. A lot of that is coverage. A lot of that is also the scheme and how they can rush the quarterback into making him throw it quicker than he wants to. And as you alluded to in our last segment, that the Patriots secondary features playmakers all over the place, right? And they can create turnovers. And this is where in a tight game, right? If it's going to be a low scoring game, one turnover is going to flip the narrative. And it's going to flip the field. And to me, I like the Patriots DBs a lot better at creating the turnover swing in this ball game. So that's who I'm going with.
I do too. I alluded to it in the last portion there, but I think Christian Gonzalez is a beast. I mean, I like a lot of the guys in Seattle secondary too, but I think Christian Gonzalez is going to be the best defensive back out there. Nobody can shut down JSN, but he's got the best chance to not let him go off. Keep him to 8 catches for 85 yards. Something like that would be a win, I think, if you're the Patriots. And so I think he'd be a candidate to make a big play. Interception, forced fumble, a key pass breakup on a 3rd down in the red zone, something like that. I think Christian Gonzalez would be the reason for it. And just for that reason alone, I would go with the Patriots in the secondary. So that gives the Patriots as a whole for defense and Seattle as a whole for offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. So I guess it's going to come down to special teams and coaching, right? And coaching. So let's talk about that a little bit. Field goals accuracy from our kickers, right? Patriots kicker and the Seahawks kicker.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I was going to say, can you even name them?
Nope. Is Folk still the Patriots kicker? No idea.
Let's go look at who their kicker is. I probably should have done a little research ahead of time, but
I can tell you just right now I'm leaning Seattle just because of Rashid Shaheed in the return game. Just how explosive he is. That's without looking up the kicker stats.
It's Andre Borales. So he had, let's see, regular season here. Let's see, total. He was 84% field goal, long 59. So he was 27 out of 32. He missed 5, and they were in the 50. Actually, he was 4-4 from 50 plus. From the 40 to 49 yards, he was 7 of 11. And then he missed 1 from the 30 to 39, and that was it. So could come down to that extra point range, right?
Yeah. I just looked up Seattle's kicker. He was 41 of 48 on the year, long of 57.
So yeah.
I mean, they're both. That's what 85%. So I mean,
they're both right there.
Right there.
Extra point percentage. He's at
90%.
Yeah, so he's at 96.4. So he must have missed 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, hunting. I mean, I know but that could play a big role. As far as the punters, flipping the field. You get a booming punt that pins somebody back with that defense. You could flip the field, and that is what a Mike Vrabel team. You look at these two defensive guru head coaches, and I think Vrabel is a little more open to the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if that makes sense. He's not like Bill Belichick, right? Where it's like, we're going to run the ball, or Nick Saban, when Nick Saban was in the early stages of Bama, we're going to run. We're going to impose our will, right? It wasn't until later, until Lane Kiffin came, that he realized that, hey, if we put up a lot of points, they're probably not going to beat us because we got a very good defense. Yeah. And I think that's like that Mike Vrabel type of mentality. It's like, he's not afraid to open it up, because I think he has trust in Josh Daniels. Seattle's coach, he's just a go-getter on the defensive side of the ball. And I think he wants to set the tone with his defense. And I think he's going to play it probably a little more conservative. So field position is going to be key, is what I'm really alluding to in this thing. And coaching wise,
that's a wash for me. It really is. I mean,
Vrabel has more experience as a head coach, but man, the way they play for, is it McDaniel?
Yeah.
Out there at, the way those guys, McDonald. Yeah. McDonald, man, they love playing for that guy.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing when that defense, because that defense has even notched it up from the regular season in the playoffs. They have turned it up. They really turned it up against
San Francisco. Yeah.
San Francisco there. And man, I think it's going to come down to, probably come down to a field goal, and field goals in the Patriots seem to always goes the Patriots way.
It does, yeah.
Gosh. Oh, I will probably give the edge to New England right there, just because of the mystique. I guess I don't know. I don't even know what the weather's going to be like in California, San Jose. Is it going to be?
no
That could
idea.
be. I mean, it could be
Windy
rainy,
or
rainy,
yeah.
and I mean, then it's a whole nother game plan, I guess.
Let's see if we can't pull it up on the Weather Channel here. Santa Clara, is that the
Santa Cruz or Clara?
I think it's Santa Clara. That's where.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's see, Sunday looks like high is 67, 7% chance of rain, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. So it should be perfect conditions.
Yep. All right. So who's got your pick? Coaching and special teams.
I'm gonna go with Seattle, but I think coaching is a wash. And for me, it just comes down. It's really Rashid Shaheed as a return man for Seattle, because I think field goal kicking. I mean, we went over the stats, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Not any big differences there. Punting, I mean, punters are punters, unless you got freaking the bald punter the Bengals had a couple years ago. I can't remember his name. From Michigan, you probably have a decent punter. Coaching is, like I said, wash. Rashid Shaheed's kind of the tiebreaker. He's more explosive than anybody the Patriots are going to be able to put back to return kicks. Like punts is the big one, because I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of kickoffs. I think it'll be relatively low scoring.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I think it'll be a big punt return more than likely. Maybe the Patriots punter is able to flip the field, but a big return, flips it back and puts Seattle in control of that drive. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks just for that reason.
All right. Well, then let's talk the final score, our predictions. As we went over our confidence picks, excuse me, we pretty much a wash as far as the offense versus defense. Seattle got the offensive side of the ball, New England defensive side of the ball. On yours, on mine, I was a little back and forth. But who do you think wins?
I'm going to go Seahawks. I think it's relatively low scoring, a lot of field goals. I'm going to say Seahawks 20, Patriots 16.
Okay. All right. I like that a lot. I do like Seattle in here as well. And I do think it will be a low scoring game. I think it'll be probably right around that 20 to 23. Comes down to a field goal, 23-20, Seattle.
Mm-hmm. And there was a weird stat. I want to make sure I get it right. But it was the last 15 teams that have traveled west for the Super Bowl have all lost. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind. Yep. Keep that in mind. All right. So there you have it. Both of us are picking Seattle. Low scoring game. Tell us who you have in the comments. Leave us a thing who you have. Which position group? I guess this is our next question. Which position group do you have as the MVP of the game? Any of the ones that we talked about? Who are you going with?
Yes, Seahawks running game. I think Kenneth Walker is the most likely candidate to have a huge game, like a clear, like best stats wise game.
Mm-hmm. So that's who you're going with for the MVP?
Yeah, I'll go with Kenneth Walker.
Okay, that's a solid choice. But if it's going to be low scoring, and not a lot of touchdowns, I might have to go with that special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it's a game-winning kick, as time expires.
Has a kicker ever gotten it though? I don't even think Vinatieri got it when he hit the game winners. Yeah. Deion Branch got it one year. I think Brady got it one year.
Didn't Brady get it the first year? Because Vinatieri,
I think he did, yeah. Because Branch got it the Eagles year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vinatieri that first year he made the
game-winning one,
expired, but yeah,
right.
He didn't win it, so.
Yeah, that's all. That was rigged. So yeah. So yeah, I guess I probably should switch. No, you know what? I'm throwing it down. There's probably some place on FanDuel that you can bet for the kicker to win the MVP, and you probably get great odds.
Yeah, no kicker has ever won the Super Bowl MVP.
Here we go. Let's make five field goals and win the ball game.
There you go.
All right. So there you have it. Go ahead and leave us who you think the position group MVP will be, who's going to win the game, and your score in the comments. And whoever gets it right, we'll pin it. We'll pin your comments up on this. And, we just want you to hit that like and subscribe button for us. And, we appreciate you listening. And next week, I think we're going to switch gears a little bit. Spring training is pitchers and catchers report.
Gino's back.
Gino's back. Good vibes.
Yeah.
Jim Day. And so we'll be talking a little spring training. We'll probably focus a little bit on the Reds since we are Reds fans here at the Cincinnati Sports Scene podcast, but we'll also bring in the national side of it as well. So a lot of storylines, baseball next week. And then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you want to make sure you are here because we are going to be doing something I think is going to be fun. It's going to be unique, at least to us. We're going to have a whole episode on trivia. And we're just going to be having some trivia, throwing trivia out there. And I'm going to bring in a guest panel. And we're going to see who will be the crown of and win the crown for the Cincinnati Sports Scene trivia. So that's coming in a couple of weeks. So you want to stick around for that. So once again, thank you. Hit that like, subscribe, share it with anybody. And please leave us comments. It helps grow the show. Until next week, take care, everybody.
See ya.